Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in. In today's video, I'm going to tell you how to get started with content marketing.
Lean marketing for SaaS. Narrate the dream team to put you on a map. Obsessed with your growth, dissecting the most sophisticated insights for these experts to coach.
The first thing you want to do when you're getting started with content marketing is you want to get some clarity around your brand. Now, whether you are a client-side content marketer, or especially if you are hiring a contractor to do content marketing for you, it's extremely important that you have clarity around your brand. Who are you? What do you stand for? What do you want to be known for? Even down to such things as, on a scale of serious or fun, where do you land? Or on a scale of technical or simple, where do you land? These kinds of things are very important, and they are the single first thing, the fundamentals, if you will, that I think you need to nail before you consider any amount of content marketing. First thing, nail your brand and have clarity and have alignment throughout your company, really, on what your brand is, what you stand for, before you start your content marketing. The second thing you want to do when you're getting started with content marketing is you want to narrow down to a very specific persona or avatar or ideal client profile. We call it by a bunch of different names. But essentially, once you know who you are, you have to be clear about who it is that you're trying to attract. Who is it that you are trying to reach and trying to have your content resonate with? And in my opinion, the more clearly you define that persona or avatar, the easier it is to prepare content for them, and the easier it is for that content to resonate with them. I always like to say, don't boil the ocean. You have only so much resources, and so the more specific you get in terms of the audience you're looking to attract. In fact, ignore what I said about audience. We're not talking about an audience here. We're talking about a single person, a single job title at a certain company size with certain characteristics or mindsets. You have to go into a level of detail where you understand the person who you're trying to get a reaction from. And then also determine what your objective is. What do you want your content marketing to achieve? When you can speak in specifics to a very specific persona or potential customer, it's much easier for that content to resonate. So, for example, with my content, I prepare my content for early stage software as a service founders who are either post-funding or post-revenue and do not have executive marketing leadership. Does that sound like you? The third piece of advice that I have for you, the third thing I think you should do when you're getting started with content marketing, this advice might be different from what you'd hear from other people, but for me it is to focus on one piece of content, one big rock, I like to call it, a single theme, a massive wow factor piece of content that represents you and the objectives that you're trying to achieve. It's prepared specifically for your ideal client. One major piece of content. That sounds easy, right? It could be an ebook, it could be a webinar, it could be an epic blog post. But if you decide on exactly one piece of content and work on that first, the rest can fall into place. Now you can excerpt that major piece of content and maybe publish several blog posts from it. You can drive traffic towards it with multiple pieces of social media content over the course of months or even a quarter. And you can establish partnerships. You can share that content with people via email or via all your other channels. You can essentially you can repurpose that one piece of content in multiple different forms. My final piece of advice is to create a workflow for your content creation process so that whether it's, let's say you have your big rock piece of content, it's an ebook or it's a webinar, now your focus is in distributing that content. So how often do you post to social media to share about that piece of content? Or how often do you send emails to your list? Things like that. But I think about it in terms of create one big rock piece of content and then repurpose that over the course of a longer period of time in the form of social media or email, or maybe you make a video from it, or maybe an ebook becomes a webinar or vice versa. But instead of trying to boil the ocean or do too much, especially if you have small amount of resources, focus on one thing that you feel confident will resonate with that ideal client profile and create that thing first, and then figure out how it is that you're going to distribute it over the long term. Also, don't forget about case studies. Case studies are very important. I know I talk about these big rock pieces of content, but a case study, a story about a customer who's achieving success with you, that kind of thing makes a big difference. So make room in your schedule to create case studies as well. I love case studies. Use case studies. So to recap, when you're getting started on your content marketing, number one is align on your branding. Everybody throughout your organization should be clear on what your brand is all about, and those decisions inform your content marketing going forward. Second is to establish a persona or an ideal client profile for whom you are preparing all of that content. And the third tip is to make something great once, one great thing, and then focus just on promoting it and distributing it. All right, that's all for today's video. Please remember to like and subscribe and leave a comment. Incidentally, the reason why I ask for that is because if you like my video or if you leave a comment, it increases the likelihood that other people will see it. I don't know if you noticed this, but these videos get like a few dozen views at most, which is perfectly okay with me. Your view is the one that's important to me, but as a favor to the people that come after you, if you left a comment or if you like or subscribe, that helps these videos get seen by lots of other people. So if you're receiving value, the single greatest thanks that you can give me is some amount of engagement. Click something, click the follow button, or just a click would be lovely. Thank you very much, and I'll catch you on the next one.